live. All righty, you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff-bound New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 Dallas Cowboys. And why are the Dallas Cowboys 0-16? Because they suck. That never gets old. Welcome to the Gridiron. Oh, man. Anybody out there at all that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free. Fire away, throw in the chat box. Usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So, as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. That's also instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or I think last time it was right around an hour. It's nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free, just fire away. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, I got the top link in the description box. Takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second membership level I got is called Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you're subscribed to my channel, thank you. I could use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed, thank you. And then finally, also in the description box below, there's 2 Facebook links. The top one takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's a group. And I say this in all my videos. Basically, my Facebook group, Facebook page, which I'll go over in a minute, my YouTube channel, it's all called the same thing. That way, it just dumbs it down for a moron like me. That way, I don't got to remember what's my YouTube channel called, what's the Facebook group, what's the Facebook page. It's all called the same thing. Makes it nice and easy for me, right? So, in the group, the New York Giants, the Gridiron, the group, we have over 5,700 members, doing very, very well. Every couple of days, we're going up like another 100 members. So probably by tomorrow or Friday, I'm guessing we'll probably be around 5,800 members, somewhere around there. So sometime next week, I'm guessing, middle of next week, maybe the end of next week, we should be maybe right around 6,000. We're doing really, really good. And basically, as soon as I get done going live here, I'll spend the next couple hours putting stuff in the group and in the page, which I'll go over in just a minute. And now that the season is upon us, I'm getting like probably 15 to 20 different items I'm putting in there every day, whether it's a video, a post, a picture, something showing some stats and a ball player. I might be sharing an article. I might find something to make fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys, which are my personal favorites, right? And not only do I post stuff in there, but if you become a member, the members post stuff in here as well too. So between me and the members, there's a ton of New York Giants information every day going in there. In the second Facebook link, it takes you to my Facebook page, New York Giants Gridiron, but it's a page. I'm the administrator, so I'm the only one to post anything in there, but it's basically the same thing, right? Once I get done going live, I put stuff in the group and in the page. And basically, if I'm alive and I'm breathing, and if I have internet access, there's stuff going in there every day, darn near 365. Even when I was on vacation, like in Mexico, I was putting stuff in there every day, right? So it's the same thing. And now that the season is upon us, in the page, I try to get like 15, 20 things in there every day. Once again, whether it's a post, a picture, sharing an article, a video that I find, something maybe showing some stats on a ball player. Once again, something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys, which I love, my personal favorites, right? And I don't commingle them. So basically, I keep the stuff separate. So whatever I put in the page, I don't put in the group. Whatever I put in the group, I don't put in the page. I just try to keep the stuff separate. So between the two, if you go to the page and you like it, you follow it, and you go to the group and become a member, as I said, darn near almost 365 days a year, there's a ton of New York Giants information every day going in there. But you can't always please everybody, right? So I got my money back guaranteed, right? So if you go to the page, you like it, and you follow it, and you go to the group, and you become a member, if you're not 100%, you get your money back guaranteed. All right, with all that stuff said and done, and away with, oh, man. Well, the Giants got their first, I guess the first of many, right? The official. Now they really have to, they had to have it out by today. That's why, like with Dable, what was it, Monday? Is that when he's like talking to like the media like every day? But somebody asked him, I think it might have been Monday. They asked, what do you have any injuries or any injuries updates or something like that, or blah 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 or whatever it was, and Dave's is like, yep. I'll let you know on Wednesday, right? So he wasn't releasing nothing until he had to, right? So they finally came out with their first, right? And the Cowboys came out with theirs, but once again, as always, I mean, hey, don't get me wrong here. Hey, for the most part, hey, that's wood. I'm not bad. You can't complain. Not bad. But I just remember it was like last year, and I think it was probably even like with Judges last year. It just seemed like this is like my third season that I'll be doing, right? And it was just like almost I don't even know if I can remember a week, and this right here included, okay, as of right now, right? I don't know if I remember. Let's see what. So 17 games. Right. And then, of course, we had the playoff game, the other playoff game. So that's 19, so that's 36. So it'd be 37 games, right? I don't know. I mean, maybe one, maybe two games in all of those games that I've been doing it, the YouTube channel on that the opponent actually had more guys listed injured than the Giants. I mean, and like sometimes I think it was like last year, the Giants would have like 10 guys or whatever it was. The other team would have like 3. I mean, it was once or twice. I know one at a time. I can't remember who it was. I don't think the other team had like anybody injured. The Giants got like 8, 10 guys. It's just freaking crazy. Well, this week, I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. We 7 guys, but nobody's like listed as out or nothing. I mean, it just, we don't know until the weekend what's going on. The Cowboys got 4 guys. So once again, the Giants, they're the winners. Or in this case, the Giants are the losers, right? It's every and once again, I don't want to sound like Nancy negativity or Debbie Downer or nothing like that, but it's just absolutely freaking amazing how like every week the Giants have more guys listed injured than the other team. So we got Gary Brightwell was limited. I mean, all these guys are limited. Okay, it's like none of them are out, or doubtful. I mean, because we haven't come to that portion of the week yet. We'd have to worry about that. But Gary Brightwell he's limited with a knee. Cam Brown limited with an ankle. Lawrence Cager limited with an ankle. DJ Davidson limited with a knee. Cordell Flott. And we got a couple hamstrings in there. We got a couple hammies. Cordell Flott with a hamstring. Gio or Javarius Owens limited with a hamstring, and Wan'Dale Robinson coming back from, they're limiting him with his knee. So we're going to be interesting to see, who makes the 46, who suits up for the game Sunday night. So we got, you got 53 on the roster, but only 46 of them suit up. So it'll be interesting to see, who suits up, who's a scratch, who's a healthy scratch, which happens sometimes, right? So we'll see. Let's see here. And it says of the players on the list, only Robinson is considered a potential starter. So yeah, you don't even know. I mean, I don't even know if he would be starting. I mean, they might have, I'm saying Wan'Dale would be a starter. Yeah, I mean, this is, wow, I don't even know who this is. AMNY. I don't even know who this is. AMNY Sports. I have no idea. I'm just reading this article here. They're writing, of the Giants on the list, only Wan'Dale Robinson is considered a potential starter. I guess maybe down a line. Maybe we got Sterling Shepard and Paris Campbell. I can see those guys getting the nod at this, being starters instead of Wan'Dale, especially coming back off of the pump and all of that with his knee and everything. I can see them kind of ramp him up as time goes by. Let's see. Flott, Brightwell, Cager, and Owens are all considered strong depth players with the potential to also help on special teams. So that might be why we got Taiwan Jones and Sims in as well, too. So got a couple of those guys that are a little banged up, a little, limited in practice. And are they going to be ready to go Sunday night? Because if they are, if they aren't, especially like Cam Brown, right? Special teams. So it'd be interesting to see if they elevate anybody from the practice squad to help out maybe on special teams on Sunday night. Well, the Giants have plenty of role players on the injury report. The Cowboys are dealing with some injuries of their own. More importantly, the key players on the starting unit. They got 4 guys. Jordan Lewis, the cornerback, he has full participation in practice. He hit a foot, right? Tyler Smith, their offensive lineman, he has a hamstring. He did not participate. Sam Williams, the defensive end with a foot, he did not participate. And Donovan Wilson, a safety, he has a calf. He did not participate. Wilson and Smith are all players who have roles on the starting unit for Dallas this season. If neither can go, it's a significant edge to the Giants on Sunday night. Yeah, especially if Smith can't go because being on the offensive line. Sam Williams and Jordan Lewis may be role players, but their potential absence will be missed as well. So, and also the other one was Donovan Wilson at safety. So the calf. Obviously, if you don't give me rocket scientists to figure out if you're safety and you can't run very well, edge to the Giants, that's for sure there. So I said, we'll have to see. This is just, it's up, Terrence in the house. But so I'll have to wait and see. They don't put the final whatever injury report out till the weekend. So we don't know who's probable, doubtful, this and all that stuff. We don't have to worry about that quite as of this second. What's up, Jersey guys? But if you go over last year, right? It wasn't that bad last year. Where we go? Here we go. Last season. Now, this is from Pro Football Reference. What they got here. Now, of course, the Giants had about 1,200 guys on injury reserve, right? Rodarius Williams, he was on injury reserve on week 1 versus Tennessee. Shocker here. Ellison Smith was on injury reserve. Ricky Seals-Jones, apparently, I guess he was on injury reserve. I guess maybe they gave him a injury settlement, maybe. I don't remember. But he on Pro Football Reference, so I'm going by. Ricky Seals-Jones was on injury reserve for the first week. I guess they just let him go. Azeez, of course, he was doubtful, right? Remember, he had been nicked up. He was doubtful quite a bit. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it was only 6 games last season where Azeez was not listed on the injury report. The first 3 games, he was doubtful, and then questionable. And then he played in week 4 against Chicago. Then he was out. Then he was doubtful. Then he was out. Then he was on injury reserve. And then he had to miss the 4 games on injury reserve, missed 4 games. And then he came back. And then, of course, he got nicked up again, especially when we in Minnesota. I think Kirk Cousins wound up kicking him in the thigh or something like that. And then 3 of the final 4 games of the season, he was on the injury report. But Andre Miller was on injury reserve. I guess maybe they paid him with the settlement maybe after because according to Pro Football Reference, he was listed on injury reserve for the first week, and then he's not listed after that. Marcus McKeithen, of course, he was on injury reserve all season long. He didn't even make it to the regular season, unfortunately. Shane Lemieux, of course, once again, he got, he was on injury reserve. Then he came back against the Lions, and and that was just not good. And then he was injured like the whole season, pretty much. Colin Johnson, of course, he was on injury reserve all season. Robert Foster, he was on injury reserve for the first week, and then maybe he got maybe an injury settlement or something. Dane Belton was questionable. Darian Beavers, of course, he was on injury reserve the whole season, obviously, because he got injured, unfortunately, in the preseason. I want to just point this out, man. I almost fainted when I seen this. I almost fainted. I mean, I was glad I was sitting down when I saw this. Kadarius Toney wasn't even listed on the injury report. I think they put him in there for whatever. He had a handful of plays, wasn't a bunch of plays against Tennessee. Then, of course, after that, because I think he played like 10 snaps. Of course, the 10 snaps Kadarius Toney played in was obviously good enough to land him on the injury report, because the following week he was questionable. Then he was doubtful. Then he was out. Then he was out. Then he was out. Then he was out. And I guess somewhere around there, I guess that's where right around when they wound up trading him to Kansas City. Yeah. Get out of here, right? Well, him and Richie James are going to have fun there with the Chiefs this year. I mean, I guess maybe if Kadarius, he gets his second Super Bowl I guess he'll give the Giant fans maybe two, because he had the one ring with the one. I guess he was telling the Giant fans we were number one. I guess I'm not sure. So I guess if he wins another Super Bowl, I guess he'll be telling. I guess the Giant fans will be number two then. I guess I'm not sure. But we got now Richie James over there, right, with the Chiefs, and you got Kadarius Toney. So once it's I don't know. It's like with Kadarius, it's like as Kadarius turns, it's like General Hospital. It's like, soap opera. Is he going to play? Is he dinged up? Is he, oh boy. But we didn't have a ton of guys on, so much, but we did have quite a few guys who were on the injured reserve last season. But let's see here. This is from SI. They got obviously Brightwell, who figures to continue having a big role in special teams. Yes, continues to be sidelined by a knee issue that first popped up midway through training camp. Cam Brown. Brown is another core special teams player who has been slowed down by a lingering injury since the back half of the preseason. Ankle. Lawrence Cager, the third string tight end, is, you guessed it, another player that contributed on special teams. Yep. DJ Davidson. No, he's not contributing on special teams, not him. But Davidson was activated off the PUP list late in training camp as the sixth defensive lineman on the roster. He's likely to have been inactive Sunday anyway as he continues ramping up. So look for DJ Davidson to be on the inactive list, one of the guys on the inactive list for the Sunday night game against the Cowboys. And we got good old Cordell Flott, who likes to play in the slot. He's got his hamstring. Flott has been bothered by his injury for at least 3 weeks now. And it's true, hamstrings can be tricky, so it wouldn't be surprising if Flott misses the regular season over. Yep, absolutely. I mean, the hamstrings, it's like, you can think, yeah, oh, that's not too bad. It feels pretty good. And you go, you loosen up and all that. Yeah, I feel pretty good. Coach, put me in. You run onto the field and boom, there it goes. It's like, yep. So, good old freaking hamstrings. Of course, Javarius Owens, like others with a hamstring issue, the Giants are playing it cautiously with Owens. Giants' 7th round draft pick likely would have been inactive Sunday anyway, as the team figures to dress 4 safeties: McKinney, Pinnock, Belton, and McCain. So if he's inactive too, what you want it being good, right? Give these guys who are not starters, they're little contributors, but who are not starters, right? Give them another week off. as I say, especially with the hamstrings and all that. Then we got Wan'Dale Robinson. Wan'Dale was just activated off a PUP at the end of training camp and continues to ramp up. He's unlikely to be available for the regular season opener on Sunday. So we'll see. But it just, oddly enough, as I said, I think they're dressing 46, 53 on the roster, right? They got 7 guys here listed on the injury report. Okay, so it'd be kind of interesting to see if these 7 here don't dress up, which would give the Giants their starting 46, right? You got 53. These 7 guys are injured because, with Brightwell, yeah, he's special teamers, this, that, and the other thing, but, he's the 4th running back or, one of 4 running, Cam Brown, obviously special teams, but he's probably not going to contribute on defense. So we'll see. We'll see. But I said that, the Cowboys only got 4 guys listed. But as I said, all things considered, and that's not too bad, for the Giants. And actually it's, we've got some injuries, obviously Cole Beasley and stuff, but it seems like it's a little bit better, and I don't want to sound like a total, jackwagon. So I love KC at Arrowhead laying the 5.5 tomorrow. Oh. Well, we're going to find out. Wow, it's early too. We're going to find out. I don't know. I see a good game. I don't want to see a blowout, but we'll also, give you. It's tough too because if Detroit gets blown out in week 16 or 17, we look back. Yeah, remember they lost, by 15 points to the Kansas. That's so far in the back, but it'll be a good little test for Detroit, right? Is it still 3 or is it 3.5? Because I don't keep up. I just saw that one article said it was 3.5 at the time, but whatever that was a couple of days ago. I'm gonna 3 even. Oh, see, changed. Yeah, see, changed. There you go. I wonder what it'll be on game time. But, and I said, I don't want to seem like a jackwagon because everybody's even, everybody's equal. There's no, just because Saquon is a star and he's a star doesn't mean he's any better than Brightwell as far as human beings. So I don't want to sound like a jackwagon here, but at least, I said, please forgive me, Lord. The guys are injured. They're not like, it's not Kayvon. It's not Sexy Dexy. It's not Andrew Thomas. It's not Daniel Jones. It's not Waller. It's not even Bellinger. It's Cager. So this is like, it's kind of like we took all the starters, we like bubble wrapped them for preseason and training camp, and now we're just taking the bubble wrap off them, and they're nice and fresh, ready to go. So it's nice. That's nice. Dallas running game is not as good. It's 2.5. Damn. Well, just keep looking. Maybe it'll be even by the time this talk is over. By the time my video is over. It changes. It changes, yeah. Well, their running game's not as good, and their run defense is not that good. If they got a little chink in the armor, it's their run defense, So the Giants are going to have to try to, actually P-Dot. That's his rapper name. It's Paul Dottino. If you're looking for his rap albums, he's under P-Dot and all your fine record stores everywhere. If you want to get his albums. He was saying, he's like, if I think he said something like whoever runs the ball the best is going to win the game. But he said he's like, man, I tell you what, I don't know if he predicted Saquon to get like 120 or 130 yards rushing or something like that. He's like, if Saquon, he said, if they start, the Giants run the ball well in the first half or something like that, I think he said the Giants win, the game's over, he said. I was like, what? So he firmly believes Torn with Run D. That's him. They're on tour. Oh, yeah. Flavor Flav and all those guys. Run TMC. Yep. But he says if the Giants are able to run the ball with Saquon, and Saquon does starts going off and stuff like that, because that'll also help. Obviously it's it's the Einstein thing. Theory, everything's relative, right? You can run the ball, that helps open up the pass game. You can pass the ball, that helps open it. I mean, because if you can't pass, you don't got nobody that scares them or nothing like that, and they can lock you down one-on-one. They can put 8 guys in the box and stop Saquon and dare you to beat their cornerbacks one-on-one and stuff like that. You're pretty much screwed. But, I mean, that's not happening. I mean, if we get Hyatt out there, I mean, even if he doesn't even catch it, it's just the just having him out there. Just the fact that we got somebody out there that can just run past your whole team. Just that, and then of course, then you got Waller out there. It's just the fact that having those guys out there is going to open stuff up. Obviously, that opens stuff up, and you can't have that many guys in the box. So if you put guys in the box, okay, all right. So that means you're going to have maybe one-on-one with Waller, or you might have somebody over the top of maybe Hyatt, but you can't have somebody over the top of Waller if you got 8 guys in the box. I mean, it's obviously it's a numbers game. You can't put 37 guys in the box and double team everybody, the wide receivers. You only got 11 guys. You can only put so many, if you're going to keep somebody over the top of Hyatt, right? Now you got 2 guys over here. If you got 7 guys in the box and you got 2 guys over here, that means there's only 2 other guys someplace, So it's all the numbers. It's going to be very interesting. But yeah, P-Dot, he's like, man, if Saquon starts going off, baby, he's like, so he's like a freaking kid in a candy store. He absolutely loves it. I just tell him, but his route trade. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, sometimes it's just, if you can just, it's like, bullet Bob Hayes. All right, Bob, we're going to snap the ball. When we snap the ball, you run as fast as you freaking can that way. All right. You just, it's the same thing with Hyatt. I mean, he'll just take guys with him. If he can't run, I mean, if he can't run a route, okay. But if he can, I mean, he ran that route good enough against little sauce on the side Gardner there. I mean, he came in motion. It was the first play of the game, right? He came in motion, right? And I think he went to Sauce. I don't think Sauce was following him, but I think he went to Sauce's side, and then he whatever. I don't know. He ran like 10 yards or something like that. Started stuff like he was going to maybe go in or out, and Sauce broke down, and then Hyatt took off and ran back. He had like 2 steps on him. It's like, that wasn't a good pass by Tyrod. The safety was over the top. The safety was coming over. But I mean, so I guess Sauce realized, thought he was having help over the top. But the safety was late. He blew past Sauce. I mean, that wasn't a good pass. The ball was out of bounds. I mean, that was not very, very good. I think he maybe could have. I think he might have been a little too close, maybe to the sideline. Obviously, they want you to run like up and down the numbers if you can, so that way the quarterback has all that room there to drop the ball. Then you're running down the sideline. But regardless of that, if you ran a bad route, bad pass, or whatever, just in the back of Sauce's mind, it's like, holy crap, the dude had freaking 2 steps on me. It's like, So, Jets are home favorite. Buffalo. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's one of these weird things, right? I mean, you got the Giants Sunday night, then you got the Jets Monday night, right? But it's exciting. I mean, it's really, really exciting because I mean, sometimes, I mean, maybe in the past, I mean, not that everybody's like with the Giants is like Super Bowl or bust, baby. I mean, this is a total horrible season. I mean, but just we were 9-7-1. And obviously you're expecting at least the same, whatever, maybe 10-7, hopefully maybe a little bit better, but there's excitement there. I mean, we're trending up, and it's the same thing with the Jets. Now once with them, you don't know how long Rodgers is going to be on the team. I can't see Rodgers being there for 5 years or something, especially I think he's 39 or going to be 39. But I mean, at least for this season, or if Rodgers hangs around for a couple of seasons, there's a lot of excitement in the air. And then, of course, we got to play each other, right? This October 29th, I think it was, right? So that's going to be. You know what I mean? That's almost as exciting as that was in 2011, right? We had to have that game. Had to have it. Big time. And what the hell was it? I forgot what the Jets were winning. Was it 10-3 or 10-6? Maybe 10-6. Maybe 10-6. And of course, that's when Cruz, just before the first half, took it 99 yards for a touchdown, because that was huge, because you figure it was third down too. If you listen to the broadcast, it was third down, third whatever it was. We were at third and 12, maybe whatever, because we're at the 1 line, right? But I mean, if that pass was incomplete, or say he catches it for 6 or 7 yards or so, right, gets tackled, well, now we're punting inside our own 10-yard line. We'll say the Jets get the ball around midfield. Just say, right? They had whatever. They still had plenty of time. They could have marched and at least maybe got another field goal. So maybe it would be 13-6 or so. I think it was 10-6. I could be wrong. But maybe it was 13-6. Maybe it's like 13-6 at halftime. The Giants wind up. Was it 29? Oh man, this is bothering me now. The Jets were winning. I'm trying to think of if it was 29-14 at halftime. With the final score. Let's see here. Whoops, that's nope, that's wrong. But I know the Jets were winning, and before Cruz's touchdown, before the first half. I was 29-14. So what that was? So maybe it was 7-3 then. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe the Jets were winning 7-3. Yeah, they were winning 7-3. And then Cruz with 2 minutes and 12 seconds. He that's a 99-yard. So all I'm saying is that so it was 7-3. The Jets were winning. And then where we at here? And then if the Jets got the ball back, like around midfield or so, say they get whatever, 10, 15, if they could have got 10, 15 yards or so, right? Maybe they're in field goal. Maybe it's 13-3 at halftime if Cruz doesn't go the whole way. It's 13-3 at half. Maybe you got a little different ball game. But, we wound up winning. But, I mean, that game was huge. Huge. We are absolutely – oh, yeah. Baseball season in New York was baseball season. Can you see a Giant Jet Super Bowl? Well, hey, sure. There was a lot of excitement. Without getting too carried away in 81, because they both made the playoffs in 81. That was the first time they ever both made the playoffs the same year. It was in 81. But there was a little, if you were smoking something really, really good, you can envision the 9-7 Giants playing the Jets in the Super Bowl, but you'd have to be really smoking something really good. 86 was a little bit of a different story. The Jets were a pretty good team in 86. Obviously the Giants, 14-2. We went to the Super Bowl. We won, of course, but the Jets, they lost in overtime to the Browns in Cleveland Stadium. The Jets were winning, once again, I could be wrong. They were winning, I think, 20-10 with like 5 or 6 or something like that minutes to go in the game, and they gave up 10 points in the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. Cleveland tied it up, and then Cleveland, I think they had 2 chances to kick field goals in overtime. I think Mark Mosley missed the field goal, and then he connected on them, I think. But the Browns won that one. But the Jets were like 5 minutes ago were winning by, I think, maybe 10 points. And they just couldn't hold a lead. So if they could have won that, they would have gone to the championship game against Denver. Now, I don't know if they would have beaten Denver with John Elway, but anything's possible. But, I mean, we were kind of close that year for the Jets and the Giants to be playing each other in the Super Bowl. That would have been pretty good. You'll get hit by gas now. Yeah, I mean, that was a tough one. That was dumb. Now that I don't know, because the Browns. See, I mean, they might have played. Maybe the championship game might have been in Denver. Then I don't know. I don't exactly remember, but I mean, there was a good chance there in 86. Ryan started that game over Brian. Yeah. Yep. I mean, sometimes Ken O'Brien would be really, really good. I mean, I think he was the one that went like touchdown for touchdown. Marino that one time was it 51-45. I think it was O'Brien. I think it was him, right? At 51-45. I mean, what a freaking game. I mean, the Jets and Dolphins had a couple crazy games. 51-45. And then, of course, the one with Marino spiking the ball, getting down to the 1 yard line, 2 yard line. The clock was running. Marino's like, something like this. But I guess he did something. I can't remember who he threw the touchdown pass to. But, he maybe did a signal to him or something like that. So Marino's walking up to the line of scrimmage, kind of going like this. Maybe he did a signal or something. So he got the ball, and he stepped back, and he fired in the end zone. Wound up beating the Jets on a fake spike. Naughty. They could have had Marino to 83. Oh, yeah. Oh, a lot of teams could have Marino. A lot of teams pay. I mean, where did he wind up going? And obviously in the 20s, right? Same thing with Aaron Rodgers, right? Right? I mean, man, could you imagine Marino? Man, I'll tell you what. Late first, yeah. I mean, tell you what, man, Marino, I mean, he couldn't run, couldn't this, but he was good in the pocket. He was good at moving up and dancing around in the pocket and all that. But, man, I'll tell you what, that freaking guy could throw a freaking ball. Let me tell you what, it was pretty. He could just fire it downfield. It's just a shame with him because he never had a running game. It was always, okay, Dan, here's the football. Win us a football game. Oh, by the way, you don't have a running attack. Yeah, so it's all in you, which was, he kind of, I'm sure he probably liked it because if you're a quarterback like him, you want to throw the football. But, sometimes it does help to have a running game, and that wasn't, unfortunately. 84, the second season, they went to the Super Bowl, but 49ers were way too good that year. Way too good. The coach. Is that what it was? Is that why he fell? Yeah, some of that just, something like that. Something like that. But I mean, man, I'll tell you what, that freaking guy, I'm happy I got a chance to see him, play. I mean, because he could throw the football. Let me tell you what, he was a competitor. Yeah, man, certain guys, just the way they throw the ball is just very, very impressive. That's why the Steelers, Steelers. Well, Steelers could have used him. I mean, because who was the Moron? Hold on. 92, 93, 95. Was it Malone? Who's the Moron the Steelers had? Was it Malone who threw the 2 interceptions to Brown in the Super Bowl? I mean, it was just like saying it back. Mark Malone, yeah. Could you imagine if the Steelers had Marino in that Super Bowl? Steelers might have won, right? And we wouldn't have to hear these Cowboy fans talking about, we got 3 in the 90s, right? Oh, Neil O'Donnell? There's one. Those 2 passes, right? I mean, it was like, dude, what are you thinking? But obviously the Cowboys were a good team back then. But I mean, can you imagine if the Steelers had Marino? Whew, right? Because then back then they had Jerome Bettis, right? So they had a running game. Then if you had Dan Marino who could throw the ball and they had a good defense, Steelers would have been tough. They would have been freaking tough. All right, so there we go. Is this hold on? Yep. The Giants won a blue out. Now last year, I think they had the white out against the Cowboys, if I'm not mistaken. Because when Saquon, I just remember when Saquon ran that one in from whatever it was, 30-something yards out, the towels and stuff. It was just, But they want the blue out. And they're handing out jerseys. And, of course, I guess their theme. And actually, it's Justin Tuck has got this little video here for about 2 minutes long. He's talking about, it's like be giant. And they got these jerseys, not jerseys, the shirts they're handing out. I guess from Pepsi. It says be giant on it. The Giants will open their season against the Cowboys on Sunday night at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And the team calling on fans to create a blue out. Now, the thing is here, that's, the Cowboys a little bluish too. So, but On Tuesday, the Giants announced a season-long brand campaign, Be Giant. Two-time Super Bowl champion Justin Tuck helped kick things off. So he's on this video. Giants fans can rally behind our Be Giant campaign, whether they're at the stadium, in the neighborhood, in the school, or at the office, said Chief Business Officer Pete Gulia. We're excited to launch this campaign ahead of our home opener at MetLife Stadium, where we know our fans will create an unbelievable home field advantage for the players, coaches on Sunday. Wow. Yeah, it's going to be a home field advantage, but I'll tell you what, I've been to, it's been a while. Actually, I've never been to MetLife Stadium, but at the old Giant Stadium, I went, what, 1, 2, 3, I went 4 times when the Cowboys and the Giants played each other, my son and I. And, tell you what, the Cowboy fans, they travel very well. I mean, if the game is played on Jupiter, half the fans would be Cowboy fans. I mean, the Cowboy fans, of course, because they're everywhere. I mean, they're one of the, one of the ones, the Cowboy fans that, they're all over the place, the Cowboy fans, which of course, makes you want to vomit. But I mean, they're kind of, they're like, the thing that just, I don't know. I mean, because it's like my son's a Cowboy fan. He's born here in South Jersey, but he likes the Cowboys. It's like, don't you like the team that your home team? No. But I said, they're with the Cowboy fans, they're like, they got them everywhere. They're all over the place, The 80s unis, they still got Taylor, Carson, Bavard on the closet. I had quite a few of them. I wound up donating them because I still got some. I know Lawrence Taylor. I got Harry Carson. My kids bought me some, so I got a couple of them. But I remember I had Shockey, I had Tiki, I had Eli Manning. Who else did I have? I think I had another 1 or 2, and I wound up donating them. But I had quite a few of them. Rodney Hampton, there you go. Love Rodney. Oh yeah, Rodney. Oh yeah, yep. Unfortunately for him, yeah, at least he got drafted in 1990, so he does have a Super Bowl ring. And I guess that's one of those mysteries. You never know, right? He got injured against, was it the Bears in the Bears game? The Bears, I think he got injured in the Bears game, in the playoff game. And that's what sent O.J. Anderson in, right? And, of course, the rest is history, right? The forearm and, the over 100 yards rushing and this, that, and the other thing. Now, I mean, you hate to see that. I hate this, especially Rodney. You hate to say that O.J. was the reason why we won. If Rodney was in there, we wouldn't have won the Super Bowl. So that's pretty tough to say. But, I mean, it just worked out really well that, Otis got in there and, helped win us the Super Bowl and all that and everything. I mean, you probably want to say that if Rodney stayed healthy, I'm sure he would have done a good job. But he got in. I think he broke his something in his ankle or shin or something like that. And the thing was, it was funny. He was but he had his practice pants on because he came off the field, I think, something like that. And he said like his leg was hurting him or something, whatever it was. And I don't know if he told Otis to go in the game or he's going to have to be ready or something like that. Or whoever, the trainer went over to us and said, hey, you're going to have to go in. And Otis is like, I can't, I got my practice pants on. Of course, after they won the game, Parcells goes over to him and says, you know what this means, right? Because Parcells is very superstitious. So that means you got to keep wearing your practice pants to play. So, because he had these big, baggy practice pants on, and so, because he didn't think he was going to play. So he had the wrong pants on and everything like that. But as I said, the rest, he got Wally pimped, So, but I mean, at least Rodney did. At least, thankfully for him, at least he got a Super Bowl ring. But of course, after that, with Hanley, and then with Reeves, Reeves, the first year Reeves guys to the playoffs and all. But the team started floundering. But I mean, Rodney was, if he was healthy, he was getting us 1,000 yards. Just keep handing the freaking guy the ball. Keep handing it to him, handing it to him, handing it to him. And the guy just carried it and carried it and carried it and carried it. I mean, good, solid running back. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, OJ too. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, but I mean, by the time I think he get drafted, he was 79. I think it was with the Cardinals. I remember watching on TV. It was the first time he played when he played the Cowboys at home. They had the Cowboys wearing their blue jerseys, their Jinx jerseys. The Cardinals were at home. They wore white, and OJ went off on him. Had like 180, 190 yards rushing or so, whatever it was. Oh yeah, he went off. The Cards were still yeah. Now you look. I mean, if you start thinking about it, why, wouldn't you think maybe Otis Anderson could be like in the, Hall of Fame? I mean, he has over 10,000 yards rushing, 2 Super Bowl rings, Super Bowl MVP. Right? I mean, he has a lot of rushing yards. I mean, long career. He didn't have 1,000 yards rushing in 13 straight seasons or not like that. I could certainly pull his stats up, but it's like, man, let's see here. Is he on there? No, he's not on there. But he certainly get some consideration, but it is what it is. All right, now we got. Oh, here we go. Tickets. Oh man, this is kind of. I don't know where to get this in. Who is this here? Oh, this is the New York Post. The time of this publication, the lowest price we could find on tickets for our home opener was $189 before fees. Okay, on Vivid Seats. Yeah, all right, okay. Lower level seats start at $247. But I mean, if you go to like StubHub or something like that, some of these prices are just astronomical. I mean, not astronomical, it is. But if you want like section 113, which is like right behind the Giants, like 50-yard line or so, it's like section 113, row 17, they're $1,300 a seat. Now, of course, that's without fees too. So a fee, I know it's all goes along with the price of the ticket. Like if the ticket's like $200, the fee might be $50. If the ticket's $1,000, the price of the fee might be $250 or something like that. So if you're paying $1,300 for a seat, for a ticket, I mean, the fee is going to be probably a few $100s. So you're paying, and then I think there's tax on top of that. And it's just like, so that $1,288 ticket, which should be, once again, be nice, row 17, right on the 50-yard line, right behind the Giants. Of course, that's just one ticket, but it's a StubHub. So it'd be $1,300, $1,400, $1,500, $1,600, might be about $1,700. Some with maybe taxes and fees and all that stuff and everything. But of course, now if you want 2 of them, now you just double it. So if you want 2 tickets for the Giants against the Cowboys, row 17, right behind the Giants, right at 113, smack dab on the 50-yard line. Probably really good seats. You don't want to get down too low, because if you get like row 1, and if you're on the 50-yard line, you might be looking over some of the Giants players. That's sometimes you can get down a little too low. But row 17 may not be too bad. But if you want 2 tickets, right, that'd be like $3,500. Now, of course, I don't know. What we got here? I mean, because some of these you got like there you go. I the suites. 2 tickets seated together. So it's like, I guess it's the suites. I'm not exactly sure what they all involved. If there's free food and stuff like that, I'm not sure. But $6,000 for a seat in the suite. Section 205. Section 205B, row 1. It's an unobstructed view. but you're in a suite. So I guess you're inside because maybe it's free food and stuff like that. I'm not sure. Maybe you get a lap dance. I don't know. But $6,600 or $6,111 for a ticket. So now with the fees on that, the fees might be close to $1,000. So you might be paying about $7,000 for that. So if you want 2 tickets, right, in suite 205, section 205B, which is a suite, it says partial suite, which is, I guess you're sharing it with somebody else, I guess. It's reserved seating, unrestricted view. You get 2 tickets. So be pay about $14,000 for the 2 seats in the suite. I said, once again, I mean, well, I know it could be, with food and stuff like that and everything. I remember season tickets for as little as yeah, not even. Well, I mean, see, the thing is, it's obviously there's if you're able to get them through the Giants, because there are seats available, through the Giants, because on Big Blue Kickoff Live, they've been mentioning it for like a couple of months. They're like, hey, Giant fans, if you're interested in going to a Giant game, there's still tickets available, right? Single seat tickets available and stuff like that and all. So I guess if you get it through them, I guess their face value plus whatever the taxes would be. I don't know. I've always bought the stuff on StubHub because I want to go to StubHub, or Ticketmaster or whatever. Of course, I know I'm going to pay a ton in fees, but I want to go. I want to sit right there, okay? And I click on the price, and sometimes I look at the price and I go, and then it's like, okay, I won't sit there. Where else can I want to sit? So when I click on it and the price pops up and I don't go like that, then I'm okay. That's not too bad, So. But basically, I want to try to pick where I want to sit. And if you're buying them through there, they could be upper level and stuff like that. So, because me and my son, we go to 1 game a year. So I like to get some nice seats, even if I got to pay a little extra for it. I want to try to get something nice. I remember we went to was it 2019? It was before 2020. Maybe it might have been 2019. Yeah, because Brady was still in New England. The Cowboys played the Patriots in New England. And I bought, so my son and I drove up to New England. We sat there. It was pouring rain. It was like 37 degrees and it's pouring rain the whole game. What the hell was the score? 13-9 or 13-6 or something like that. It was really low scoring. It was, Tom Brady threw a 1 touchdown pass. That was it. It was the only touchdown in the whole game. But anyway, my son and I, I'm like, I wanted to get good seats. So I think we got 50-yard line seats right behind the Cowboys, but we were like 10 rows, 15 rows from the top. Okay. But we were like right on the 50-yard line. It was nice. You could see everything, So, I mean, it wasn't that horrible, but it was like, I tell you what, with fees and everything, it was about $1,500 for the 2 tickets. And we were at the top, right on the 50-yard line now. But I'll tell you, there was it was like no overhang or nothing like that. So it was pouring the whole game. And tell you what, if that was, as I said, it was like 37 degrees, 37, 30. If it was like 5 degrees, that would have been about 35 feet of snow. I'd still be in New England trying to shovel out. That would have been a lot of snow. But I mean, it was like $1,500 for 2 tickets, way up there. Sullivan Stadium, like high school for oh yeah. So Foxborough was worse than Shea. Well, they played at was it Harvard? When their first year in 1970, when they came into the NFL, they played because the Giants played there. They played. Joe Kapp came over from Minnesota. After they had a contract dispute or something like that, I guess Joe Kapp wanted more money because he took him to the Super Bowl after '69 and all that. So I guess they had a contract dispute or something like that. So Joe Kapp wanted, I guess, maybe some more money, whatever it was. And so the Giants played the Patriots. It was the Boston Patriots for 1970. 1971, when they got Jim Plunkett, that's when they changed to New England. But I think it was in Harvard Stadium they played at in 1970, if I'm not mistaken. Then that's when after 71, they had the new stadium built and all that and everything, I think it was. But I mean, that was just that was a dump. A lot of our stadiums back then were just kind of dumpy, but had their own flavor to them. They were all different. I mean, a lot of them nowadays, it's, obviously they're so modern, some are so nice and they're so beautiful and all, but, they're all, they all had their own little flavor to them back then. I mean, so many stadiums back then had their own flavor to them. Went to a Giant preseason game at Sullivan. I think it was back in 90. Oh, yeah. Sullivan's name, like a high school facility. Well, I mean, a lot of the Giants played a lot of their games like in Palmer Stadium. They did play some of their in the Yale Bowl. They played some games in the Yale Bowl as well. I mean, I think we were talking about it before one time. I mean, in 1969, the last game Ali Sherman coached, they wound up playing it in Quebec, Canada. I mean, I think it was against the Steelers. The Giants played the Steelers in Quebec, and up in Canada. Weird stuff. Weird stuff. But yeah, I mean, I mean, it is. I mean, that's one of the things that's such a shame because you got, they just price the stuff out of people's, it's like everybody say everybody's working, okay, and for the most part, your salary goes up like this, whatever, you get a 3-year, just saying that. You get a 3-year raise, a 3% raise every year. So your salary kind of goes up like this, whatever. But the price of the tickets kind of going up like this. I mean, it's like you can't keep up with that. So it's like, I don't know what, and then they have these what are the fees or something. If you want your seats, you got to pay a fee for the seats, and then you got to pay for the tickets, and it's like, why am I paying a fee? And then I got to pay for the tickets, then I got to pay $3,000 for parking, and it's like, what? And why am I paying $300 for a hot dog and $1,800 for a bottle of water? It's like, it really is. It's a shame. It really is. I mean, I would go to more football games, but I can't afford it. I mean, I'm going to spend $35,000 a year going to football games. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. I would drive down to watch this Giant team from Orange County, New York, about an hour. The Olympic Stadium. No, they played. The one that they played, it was an Olympic Stadium. It was at Jerry Park, where the Expos played at, wherever, Montreal, Quebec, right, whatever it was. Port Jarvis, live in Port Jarvis. Jerry Park. Yeah. But I mean, it's a shame. They just, some of the price of these tickets, they just like, it's like, like I can afford me, what I mean? And especially if you're going to travel to watch them. I mean, you got to pay for airfare. I mean, say you want to go see them play the Cardinals. Whatever airfare is, whatever a hotel is. Oh, by the way, you got to eat, right? Whatever the tickets are, or if you're going to see them play the 49ers, it's like my son and I, we saw the Cowboys when they played the Raiders out in Oakland. It was the last season they played. It was going to be the last time the Cowboys were ever going to play in Oakland. So it was either 2017 or 2018 they played. Wound up being a really good game. But, so we had to fly out to actually, we landed in San Francisco, and we wound up driving to Oakland. But we got to get an airfare for two, the hotel, right? We had to get Ubered, and we had tickets. So, I mean, it's like you're spending like a few grand just to watch one football game. And so, sometimes, I mean, so if you got like, say, 8 games on the road. Well, I mean, some of the games you can drive to, obviously, but some of them, some of them you can't. Some of them you probably want to fly. But I said the hotel and you're gonna be. I mean, if you're going to try to watch every Giant game, and you're going to spend like $20,000, $25,000 for a season to watch it, I mean, unless you go out, I mean, you can get real cheap seats too. You can buy them up way up in the nosebleed sections and stuff like that, save yourself some money, but. But I mean, it's expensive. It's it's like some people have to work like a couple of weeks just so they can buy one football ticket. It's like, it's unfortunate. It's just, and now, of course, was it Bosa? I think he's 170 million. I think he is. I think he got 5 years. So what the hell would that be? 34 million he got a year. I mean, wow, man, a lot of freaking money. All right, then I saw this last one here. What we got here? Some storylines. Now these are some good ones. This is from Ed Valentine, Big Blue View. Ed Valentine. Let's see here. One of the storylines here is going to be Evan Neal versus DeMarcus Lawrence. Absolutely. Now, Lawrence, went off on Evan Neal last year in the first game that they played between each other. So on September 26th of last year, week 3, Neal had the worst game of his football life. Lawrence beat the rookie right tackle for 3 sacks. Neal also gave up a hit and a hurry in that game, the lowest point of a miserable rookie season for the number 7 overall pick in last year's draft. Oh, yeah. Neal spent the offseason reshaping his body, losing weight, and adding muscle. He worked hard to refine a stance that would help him get into a better position and have improved balance. Now, a new season looms, and we begin to find out how the works have paid dividends. As Providence would have it, Lawrence is the first test. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And, of course, they got not only DeMarcus Lawrence, but sometimes it's going to be Micah Parsons. So it's going to tell us a lot about how Neal, how he's progressing. This next one here is the McCarthy effect. Dallas coach Mike McCarthy moved on from highly regarded offensive coordinator Kellen Moore during the offseason, taking over running the Cowboys offense and calling the plays himself. Yeah, we'll have to see how that works out. McCarthy isn't a novice, of course. He ran the offense as head coach of the Green Bay Packers, winning a Super Bowl in 2011. And I think McCarthy, he called plays up until 2018. So it's been a few years. But, I mean, he's pretty used to it. How McCarthy taking charges changes the offense, we won't know until we see it. Will it look like the familiar Dallas offense? Will it be the 11 personnel heavy offense McCarthy ran with the Packers and Ben McAdoo brought to the Giants? I'll see. Some people kind of think that McCarthy just might want him airing it out a lot because I think their run game may not be quite as good as it has been in the past. Then the next one here, next storyline is the secondary. Whether they intended to or not, the Giants have completely revamped their secondary. 2 rookies, first round pick Banks, and then, of course, Trey Hawkins the third. We'll start at cornerback on the outside. Veteran Adoree Jackson will be in the slot, probably pretty much going against ABCD Lamb most of the time, if not all the time. The changes, though, don't end there. Julian Love is now with the Seahawks, so obviously starting next to Xavier McKinney will be Jason Pinnock. So, because if you look what we had last season, right, you'll say you have still Adoree Jackson and you got McKinney. Other than that, there's three new people back there, 3 new starters. So, going to be interesting to see. Quarterback Dak Prescott has accomplished wide receivers ABCD Lamb, Brandon Cooks, and Michael Gallup to throw to. Lamb plays primarily in the slot, and will be interesting to see how Jackson, playing that spot full-time for the first time in his career, handles the challenge. As good as Banks and Hawkins were in the preseason, the words rookie cornerback and struggling can often be found in the same sentence. Yep. So the Cowboys are going to test these rookies. We'll see how they respond. Explosive plays. Oh, yeah. Will the Giants' enhanced passing attack generate them? The Giants spent much of the offseason trying to improve their weaponry on offense that was last in the NFL in explosive plays, defined as plays of 20 yards or more. Tight end Darren Waller, the 2-time 1,000-yard receiver, is the Giants' premier shiny new passing attack toy. Jalen Hyatt, the speedy third-round pick, was the 10th receiver taken overall. In round 3, he spent the summer running past cornerbacks and making the Giants look brilliant for trading up to get him and making other teams look silly for leaving him on the board that long. You got that freaking right, brother. Can Daniel Jones He and the newly minted 4-year, $160 million contract take advantage of those weapons. Jones hasn't thrown for 20 or more touchdowns in a single season since his rookie season when he went 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions with Pat Shurmur. The 3,205 yards he passed for last season is a career high. With what he has around him, now Jones will be expected to exceed those numbers. Oh, I think so. Because that was like 200 yards a game he averaged. The Giants spent much of 2022 doing things the hard way on offense, trying to grind out drives and really being able to generate the kind of big plays that makes it easier. Oh, yeah. And then finally, this one here, Ed Valentine says, just one of 17? Says the Giants have taken every opportunity to downplay the significance of Sunday's game and NFC games in general. I would just say every week is important. Every team we play, we're going to want to win those games. So whether it's Dallas, Philly, whoever it is, each game is equally important. That's what like Dable and Shane were saying. Quarterback Daniel Jones gave a little bit more of a response with emphasis on a little bit part. All of these divisional games are big for sure. It means a lot. So if it's a big opportunity for us and we'll be ready to go, Jones, it's a big game because it's the first game. It's a big game because it's a divisional game, and it's also the next game too. I mean, definitely without question. I mean, it's the Cowboys. It's week one. The McCarthy. Yeah, they said that on Big Blue Kickoff Live. He called play. Somebody called in and was like, I was just kind of wondering. Guy called in and he was wondering, what was it like? Do we have any like kind of past matchups? Obviously where Wink went against McCarthy calling plays, and P-Dot said that Wink's only been calling plays for not that long. I mean, he's been in the league for a while, but he's only been calling plays since 2018. McCarthy stopped calling plays in 2018. And so they looked. And when Wink was calling the plays in 2018, the Packers, they didn't play each other. I guess the Ravens and the Packers didn't play each other that year. So they don't have no head-to-head. McCarthy calling plays against Wink's defense. There's no head-to-head. So there's no, results for that. But McCarthy, they said he started stopped calling plays for Green Bay in 2018. So McCarthy calling plays, for Green Bay. So so there's nothing there. It's going to be interesting to see, though. I mean, it's going to be obviously a lot of good, there's a lot of good chess matches and stories and stuff like that. I mean. Can the Giants, can their offensive line hold up at least long enough to get Daniel Jones, some passes? Can we get that running game going? Because once again, it's the theory of relativity, right? Things are relative. Because the longer your drives are, the more you start tiring out, their defense. Now, they got, and they were talking about this too. Right, they were talking. I think Sean O'Hara and John Schmelk were talking about this. They were also saying like, the Cowboys got some good reserves, so they can bring in some reserves on the defensive front, right? But you're not taking Stephon Gilmore or Trevon Diggs off the field. Let's put Diggs, you look a little winded, buddy. Come on over here. Let's put this rookie in there. Yeah, that's not happening. Or Gilmore, right? Hey, Gilmore. Hey, you've been out there for 9 plays. You look a little winded. Come on at it. We'll put this unproven rookie out there. He'll cover Jalen Hyatt. You just sit there and drink some Kool-Aid for a couple. That's not happening. But what will happen is they'll maybe take Lawrence off the field or somebody, they'll keep rotating guys in there. It's kind of like the way the Eagles can. The Eagles have like 350 guys they play on the defensive front. So they can just keep bringing fresh guys in. But they don't do that with the secondary. So if you get some long drives and, all of that, that can be a little tiring on them. But there's going to be so many. Can the Giants get the running game going? That would be huge. Can Saquon go off once again, right? Can we get the passing game going? And then once again, on defense, I mean, can we actually sack their freaking quarterback? We didn't do it last year. How do we hold up against their receivers? Does Wink want to blitz and make it where Dak has to get rid of the ball faster? It's do we play in zone a lot? And try to protect against a big play? It's going to be a lot of interesting stuff. A lot of interesting stuff. It's going to be great. But by this time tomorrow night, the first game should be in the books, right? They start at like 8:30, right? So Kansas City and the Lions should be in the books by this time. So, man, it is freaking on. So 24 hours 21 hours from now, it's on. It's fucking great. It's like freaking Christmas. I freaking love it. I love it. Yeah. Dak 3-step drop, ball out quickly, slants. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we got to get some pressure on them. It's going to be, it's all going to be, I mean, because, what's Quinn going to do with his defensive front? Who's he going to pick on? Is he going to pick on Neal? Is he going to pick on John Michael Schmitz? Is he going to pick on both of them? Where's he going to send Micah Parsons at? And, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's like with the Cowboys, we can maybe get some pressure on, but, if he takes 2 steps and drops it all, kind of tough to get to the quarterback. So our problem is that, I mean, maybe other than Simmons, if our guys start getting a little winded, right? You bring bring Hottie in there or Boogie Basham in there or something like that. You put maybe Ashawn Robinson or Nunez Roaches or Jordan Riley. You bring those guys in. So we got some fresh guys in. That's cool. But you're not getting much of a pass rush out of them. You probably, with the Cowboys, they can bring some fresh guys in there and still get a pass rush. We might bring, Robinson in or Nunez Roaches or Tolman, Hottie, right, or Boogie Basham, and maybe it'll stop the run, but you're not going to get much on as far as maybe a pass rush. So once our first string guys come out, they start, giving some guys some breathers and stuff like that. You got your pass rushes going to go down. So that'll be interesting to see. If we start taking guys off the field, then you got, Nunez Roaches in there, Ashawn Robinson, you got Hottie, you got Boogie Basham, right? Now you ain't got much of a pass rush, so now you're going to have to start sending people to create a pass rush. So it's going to be an interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at it. Wow, 1 minute, 1 hour and 12 minutes. There we go. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up. We'll be back tomorrow, and I guess maybe I'll have on my phone. I guess maybe I'll have the game. I'll have the game on my phone as we're going live at 10:30. The game should still be on. Yes, we should be on for a little bit. Yeah, so we can also talk maybe a little about the Chiefs and the Lions too, right? Who knows? But we'll be back tomorrow. We'll find something to talk about. So whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. If anybody spends any time watching the replay this, once again, thank you. Thank you. Greatly appreciate it, guys. And as always, you guys stay safe out there. Go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.